mega operation underway. Arsenal could seal deal for Eberechi Eze, but only if two conditions are met. Meanwhile, Tottenham plots revenge and targets a Gunners star in response to the Sol Campbell saga. And Fabrizio Romano reveals Andrea Berta has a new strategy to finally secure William Saliba'S renewal. Another big day for Arsenal, and if you carry this club in your heart like we do, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because every victory, every signing, every heartbreak, we live it all together. Let's jump into today's news. Arsenal's transfer business isn't done yet. Even after bringing in big names like Victor Gyökeres, Martin Zubimendi, and Noni Madueke, along with depth signings such as Christian Nørgaard, Christian Mosquera, and Kepa Arrizabalaga, the club is still looking to strengthen the squad. And now, Eberechi Eze has emerged as the next big target. According to multiple reports, he's right at the top of Andrea Berta's shortlist. But there's a catch, actually two. According to The Athletic, Arsenal will only make a move for Eze if two things happen. One current player in the squad is sold. Crystal Palace agreed to accept an offer below Eze's £68 million release clause. Right now, there's no obvious spot for Eze in Arteta's team. The central midfield is already stacked with Odegaard, Declan Rice, Mikel Merino, and young talent Ethan Nwaneri. On the left side of the attack, both Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard are already competing for minutes. So even though Eze is clearly a talented player, there's uncertainty about where he would fit into the current system. However, Arsenal's hopes have just received a boost. Crystal Palace are preparing for life without Eze. They've identified Bilal El Kano from Leicester City as a possible replacement, which could open the door for a deal. That leads us to the big question: who could leave to make space? All signs point to Leandro Trossard. The Belgian has been linked with a move to Bayern Munich this summer, and many believe it's a deal Arsenal should seriously consider. Over the past year, Trossard has shown signs of decline, struggling to create space and take quality shots in key areas. Martinelli, on the other hand, might attract a bigger transfer fee, but he offers a directness and pace that no one else in Arteta's squad really provides. Selling him would be a far riskier move. So here's the situation: if Arsenal sell Trossard and Palace drop their asking price, then Eze to Arsenal becomes a real possibility. And if this transfer goes through, the Gunners could be setting themselves up for a serious Premier League title push this season. Only one club can sign Rodrigo now, and it's not Arsenal. Arsenal fans, here's a twist that nobody saw coming. Earlier this summer, it looked like Arsenal were lining up a massive move for Rodrigo. The Brazilian winger was reportedly the club's top target for the left wing position, but things have changed, and not in Arsenal's favor. Since the arrival of Noni Madueke, Arsenal's transfer focus has shifted. Instead of going after a traditional winger, the club is now prioritizing a more versatile number 10, someone who can play centrally but also drift wide when needed. Madueke himself could feature on the left if required, which means the Gunners no longer feel an urgent need for a pure touchline winger. They're looking for flexibility, and that could impact their next move. But while Arsenal seem to be moving in a different direction, Tottenham have stepped in, and according to Spanish outlet AS, they're now the only club in a position to pursue Rodrigo. Yes, Tottenham, not Arsenal. AS claims that although Arsenal sporting director Andrea Berta is a big admirer of Rodrigo, the Gunners' cash flow has dried up after finalizing the deal for Victor Gyökeres. That's reportedly what's holding them back. Meanwhile, Spurs are pushing ahead, and there's more. Son Heung-min is being targeted by LAFC, and Spurs chairman Daniel Levy may already be lining up Rodrigo as his long-term replacement. Now here's the real debate: should Arsenal be going after Rodrigo instead of Eberechi Eze? On paper, signing someone like Eze makes sense. He can operate both out wide and through the middle, the kind of hybrid role Arteta values. But let's break it down. Martin Odegaard is Arsenal's clear first choice in that central role. Behind him, young stars like Ethan Nwaneri and Max Dowman are waiting for their chance. Bringing in Eze could block their development, especially when you consider that Eze just turned 27. At most, Arsenal might get 2 or 3 peak years from him. And let's not ignore the price. £68 million is a big commitment for a player in that age bracket. Rodrigo, on the other hand, is only 23. He's already proven at the highest level. He wouldn't interfere with the development of Arsenal's young midfielders, and he could even be considered an upgrade over Gabriel Martinelli on the left. In terms of long-term value, ceiling, and versatility, Rodrigo might be the smarter signing. But right now, Arsenal aren't in the race, and Tottenham are. That's a sentence no Arsenal fan wants to hear. Tottenham plotting shocking move for Arsenal star, a revenge twist to the Sol Campbell saga. Tottenham might be planning the unthinkable, a move that could ignite one of the fiercest rivalries in English football all over again. Reports suggest Spurs are keeping an eye on none other than Gabriel Jesus, one of Mikel Arteta's most trusted forwards, in what could be a sensational and symbolic act of revenge. And if you're an Arsenal fan, you know exactly what this reminds you of. Yes, Sol Campbell. It's been over 2 decades since Campbell crossed the divide from White Hart Lane to Highbury, sending shockwaves through North London. Arsenal fans still celebrate that transfer. Spurs fans, they've never forgiven him. Now, it seems the Lily-Whites are looking for their long-awaited payback. According to Caught Offside, Tottenham have added Gabriel Jesus to their list of potential targets, with manager Thomas Frank reportedly showing interest in the Brazilian forward. It's worth noting that Jesus has had a challenging year. A long-term ACL injury has kept him sidelined since January, and Arsenal's recent signing of Victor Gyökeres has raised questions about Jesus' role in the squad moving forward. There's also been talk of a return to Brazil, with Flamengo monitoring the situation. But Tottenham aren't the only European side watching closely. Inter Milan, AC Milan, Barcelona, and Newcastle United are also reportedly keeping tabs. No official bids have been submitted yet, but that could change very quickly. Everything depends on one key factor: Jesus' fitness. Once his recovery progresses and clarity on his physical condition emerges, clubs may move fast, and Spurs could be among the first to test Arsenal's resolve. It would be a bold and controversial move, but in football, and especially in North London, the history has shown that nothing is ever off the table. Fabrizio Romano, Andrea Berta, has a clear plan to finally lock down William Saliba's new deal. Arsenal fans, we might finally be getting closer to some long-awaited news: William Saliba's renewal. The French defender's contract situation has been one of the biggest concerns for the club in recent months, but now there's a new name driving the negotiations: Andrea Berta. According to Fabrizio Romano, Berta, Arsenal's new sporting director, is stepping in to accelerate talks and get this deal done as soon as possible. And there's a good reason for that. Real Madrid are circling. They've made it clear that Saliba is at the top of their wish list, and they would love to make a move if Arsenal slip up, but Arsenal have no intention of letting that happen. Romano explained on his YouTube channel that Berta has already started negotiations with Saliba's representatives. Talks initially began before the summer window opened, and now they're gaining serious momentum. The Gunners are offering a new and improved long-term deal, and the goal is to make Saliba one of the highest paid players at the club, alongside Bukayo Saka. Berta's focus until now had been on locking down other key talents. He's already secured Miles Lewis-Skelly, and Ethan Nwaneri's new contract is expected to be announced soon. Now it's Saliba's turn. Speaking after Arsenal's recent 3-2 win over Newcastle in Singapore, Saliba gave fans a small but hopeful update. When asked by AFTV about his contract, he simply replied, "Hopefully soon, God is great." It may have been just a few words, but it's exactly what Arsenal supporters needed to hear. Back in April, TBR Football reported that Saliba was ready to reject interest from Madrid in order to stay in North London. That commitment now seems to be moving toward reality, and Arsenal are backing it up with action. The signings of Victor Gyökeres, Noni Madueke, and Martin Zubimendi have sent a message, not just to rivals, but to players like Saliba. This club means business. Now, with Berta pushing behind the scenes, Arsenal are hoping to wrap up Saliba's contract extension sooner rather than later, and keep their defensive cornerstone at the heart of the team for years to come. And that wraps up today's biggest Arsenal news. If you enjoyed the update and want to stay on top of everything happening with the Gunners, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, Arsenal!